Hello and welcome to Trigger Warning. On tonight's show, we're going to, of course, be talking about the US elections with a guest, Drone Tech. We're going to be talking about the man who was going to destroy income tax. And we're going to be talking, of course, about lockdown on this bonfire night edition of Trigger Warning. Graham, roll the Duke.
It's time for Trigger Warning.
Trigger warning! Fuck your feelings, you little snowflake! Triggerwarning.tv.
How dare you!
How you doing, guys? I hope you're all well. We've got good amount of things to talk about this evening. Sorry we weren't on last week. I was waiting for my third COVID test results to come back before I was allowed back out, just in time for lockdown. Let's see who's in tonight in chat. I've got Biscuit Vapes. Hello, Biscuit Vapes. Smoke Steve, Happy Dog, Fat Belly, Last Dance. Good to see you, sir. Mr. Kill C1, Mark Wild, Gorgeous George Begonia. Of course, Drone Tech's there in chat. Hanging out on Buckscore and John Steele. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing well. Late night for you, isn't it, fella? I believe he lives on the continent. Lives on the continent. He's been chatting with me a little bit on Twitter. So, and Daryl's in. Dude! Glad you could make it. Should have been here. We should have got you here. That would have been even cooler. So you could hide off camera as usual, but we should have got you here. Oh, Kenny Ballbag. How you doing, Kenny? We've missed you. How's Mrs. Ballbag? I do hope she's well. Tez is in. Stephen's there. Dippy Derek. The Vapist. Oh, it's like an all-star chat. I'm very happy now. Atomic Waster. Oh, my word, all these names. American Rebellion. Hope you're well, sir. Hope you're well. Storm the Pitbull. Crikey. Fat Belly says, I've been following you, Hayden, for 14 years. I have no life. It's a sign of good taste and class. And never forget, we appreciate it. Hopefully you'll manage to come to a meet space. I realise you probably need 2 seats on the plane, but that's fine. That's fine. Right, you may be aware. You may be aware. You may not be aware. They've been having an election in the America between the Donald Trump and the Joe Biden. Orange man bad, child sniffing dementia addict. It's all going off. It's all been happening. The vote has not gone how the pollsters said it would. What a surprise that was, actually. Very surprised. Graham's just bringing up the latest results for me so I know where I am. You've got the weirdest mouse technique I've ever seen. It's really strange, Graham. You watch Graham using a mouse and it's just all over the place.
What you on about, man? I've got the speed and momentum. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
what you on about?
Momentum. Speed and momentum. I enjoyed watching you getting bad-tempered with the volume setting earlier. That was enjoyable. Joe Biden, as we know, has received more votes than any other presidential candidate in history. Conversely, you would think that for the most maligned president in history, Donald Trump, he would have been smashed into the dirt, destroyed. He has, when I checked earlier, it was nearly as many, so it might be more now, votes that Obama and Biden got for their first term. He's not been destroyed. This is not like an epic victory. In fact, it looks like the Senate's going to remain Republican, which means all the fun things they've got planned, if they get in, probably won't happen. Probably won't happen. Graham's just bringing them up for us now. I don't even understand those. But in Arizona, they've still got Trump on 48.2%. This is on Real Clear Politics. I imagine it's probably the AP information that they have. With Biden on 50.5. North Carolina's 48.7. Biden, 50.1. Trump, 100% counted, so that's gone. Pennsylvania's still only 91% counted. Trump is, he's not bad, 50.1%, 48.7% for Sniffing Joe. How are we looking in? Obviously, Minnesota's gone 100% with a 90% voter turnout. Oh, no, that was Wisconsin, wasn't it? 90% voter turnout. That's very impressive. Apparently, some dead people have been voting, Graham.
Yeah, that's been verified as well, hasn't it?
I'm sure that happens in every election, but it's it's very exciting, isn't it? Dead people vote. That's how important this election is.
The weird thing is, I accept completely that there's going to be dead people on the voter poll, on the register still, but it's the fact
But they shouldn't be voting.
But it's the fact that they actually voted. Yeah, it's like, wait, what?
I find that quite awkward. Nevada is getting tighter, from what I can see. They're now saying that it's 86% counted. AP have had it at 88% since yesterday. But it's 86% Nevada with 49.4% Biden, 48.5% Trump. That's a basically 0.9% swing. Trump would need to win that one. That might be tricky. Arizona, again, it's a bit of a swing he needs there, isn't it? A bit of a swing. Looks like the Republicans will hold the Senate. And the interesting thing is, in the House, the Republicans have actually gained 6, whereas the Democrats have lost 5. Not quite the triumphant smashing that people predicted. Also, we're seeing a lot of things online, obviously the commentary, with all the people that were on their knees 4 years ago howling at the gods, telling Republicans they just need to take the L. So what I'm going to do, before I get too deeply into how much I enjoy the online tears and sadness, our news over here has been full of more Dem-positive commentators. I think that's fair to say, isn't it, Graham?
Yeah, I mean, usually I'm not too fussed about Sky News, but I've had to turn it off because it's been this whole, like...
Incredibly Democrat.
Biden is going to be elected and he's going to basically literally save the world. That's the narrative. He's going to all these relations that
after his nap.
Yeah, the narrative there has been insane. They're just saying how bad Trump is and how much Trump has destroyed all these different things and that. And it's like, dude, he's been nominated, what was it, 3-4 times for the Nobel Peace Prize this year? Yeah. It's like, it's insane. Sky News has been so awful. I couldn't believe it.
Well, what we've decided to do is balance the books a little. Now, I do have some of my voice coming back on a delay, but I'll do what I can. We're joined tonight by my brother from another mother, my brother from another continent. It is, of course, Drone Tech himself. There he is.
Hey, thanks, man, for having me.
How you doing, dude?
I'm doing great, considering all things considered.
Is he not going how you wanted?
Well, I mean, it's pretty chaotic. I don't know how much I buy into yet. Anyway, that this election interference that we're seeing, voter fraud, and all this, that is going to amount to much. I doubt it will. But there are some strange things going on out there with the election, yes. And it's just further dividing the country, further lowering people's confidence and trust in all the institutions in this country. And while it is our institutions that are doing that, they're doing it themselves, especially the media, which I know Aphid Lip was just waiting for me to get to. It's the media and stuff that's doing it. They blame Russia, but they're doing it.
Oh, 100%,
and I can go on and on about that.
100%. I'm no one. I don't think anyone could argue with that. It's like Graham said just before when we were talking about this, and it remarkably accurate. Is at the moment they've all got somebody to kick, Trump. What are they going to do if Biden wins and all the problems continue?
Well, I mean that's obvious.
What's going to change?
Well, the media coverage will change.
Yeah, but
overnight,
I don't think it'll solve
literally.
it now. I think division is permanent.
Well, no.
Division is
well,
permanent.
here's the thing. Well, it's permanent, yeah. Things in this country, I don't see them going back to normal anytime soon. I mean, there's deep divisions that have been growing long before Trump got into office. I mean, Trump really was a response. He is a result of that division, really.
Well, I think
I don't think much will change.
A lot of people don't remember what it was like with George Bush.
Yeah.
And then, when Obama came in, all the abuse that went that way. And I think, to me, as an outsider, I think Trump's election was a reaction to great swathes of America that felt that they had been ignored and not catered for. Not racists, not monsters, just ordinary working people that felt they weren't getting a look in between the coasts.
Right. Right, and yeah, there's a lot to talk about there, but I mean that is exactly why Trump got in office, and it's not. If I thought that Trump was actually a racist, I would never vote for him or support him. I mean, you can see that, right, and I can see that a lot of that. I mean, a lot of that is built on misquotes that the media has just repeated over and over, like the very fine people thing, and he's never. How many times did Joe Biden go out there and say he's never condemned white nationalists? There's literally like videos everywhere of him doing it over 20 times over the last 4 or 5 years. So it's obviously not true. And yeah, I mean, none of that stuff's going to be fixed by Joe Biden winning. And all that's going to change is that overnight the media is going to become very rosy. All the spin will just become positive. Those corona death counts, gone. I mean, that kind of stuff will be gone. So people will have a sense. That's really what people are voting for. The media just like puts people through a torture chamber for 4 years or 8 years, whenever a Republican is in. And then once the Democrat in, everything's great now. You know, when a good example, when Bush was president, high gas prices were a big news item. As soon as Obama gets in, you can find all these news reports about, oh, well, if you're driving less, it's better for the environment. And there's a silver lining to high gas prices. So that's the kind of thing we'll get.
Isn't it the interesting thing when people talk about Trump? As you know, as an individual human being, I find him a detestable person. But when I look at him as a president, yeah, I mean, the Twitter thing, you know, is a source of endless amusement to me. But
he's his own worst enemy a lot of the time.
He's killed a lot less people than Obama. A lot less. You know, less drone strikes, no new wars. Countries in the Middle East signing peace accords. I mean, who would have thought you'd have seen Sudan and Israel talk about peace?
Yeah.
And I think it wouldn't matter if Trump rode through the streets of Portland on a unicorn handing out $1 million and a cure for corona to each person. I don't think it'd matter now. It's the fact of his brash personality plus the media. Because the media, you know, as an outsider, it's been painfully obvious how stacked it's been. And I'm just actually amazed he didn't run away with it this year as well. I really am.
Good to mama. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, me too. It's pretty. Dude. I'm sorry. It's pretty crazy that you have literally the day that Trump was inaugurated, they started with the impeachment talk. The media and Democrats started, and then at the same time, you had that Steele dossier come out, and that went on for months before that kind of dribbled out. But it just shows that, like, you know, when a Republican's elected, it's a big conspiracy theory to explain it. And then you'll notice now that anybody questioning anything about this election now, they're calling those people conspiracy theorists. And that's why I say the only legitimate election is one that's won by Democrats. The only legitimate election interference is interference that harms the Democrats. You're going to see that they're going to say the all clear, everything's good. You're not getting anything about Russian foreign interference or anything like that. So the media is... Yeah, I mean, they're going to just say, oh, it's all good. We already saw that with the 2018 midterm elections. It was saying, oh, no interference, it's all good. So, I mean, you would think that people would see through that, but you'd have a large chunk of the country that they may see it, but it's a means to an end, and so they rationalize it to themselves.
Well, I said the swing's been very interesting online because the very people that were on their knees screaming 4 years ago are now telling everyone online, just take the L, dude. Just take the L.
They mostly are.
Calmly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I think that's going to be par for the course.
Yeah, no one's boarding up their stores because they're frightened of conservatives.
Exactly.
Speaking
of Sky News, did you happen to see that, Graham? The interview with Bailey, I think her name is, and she's asking Sebastian Gorka about boarding up businesses and suggesting that that's because of Trump supporters.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, that's insane. He's like, why do you think they're all putting like BLM and stuff on these? And she's like, oh, because they support Black Lives Matter. Like, how dense can you be, really? But I just feel like we operate in this alternate. You know, Brian Stelter and those guys always talk about the right-wing multiverse and the alternate universe. But it's like that's what there is like multiple universes going on, but I mean, they're the ones creating them, or at least they are also doing it.
Oh yeah, the narrative's been set. I don't think there can't be any doubt. But here's the thing: we know it's actually not as clear cut as everyone believes. It could still go Trump.
Yeah, it could.
It could, if Nevada flips and he gets the other states, it could still go Trump clean cut. But if Biden wins by this narrow margin, and you've got 4 years of Harris. Let's face it, Biden's not making a full term, is he? You got President Harris and Vice President AOC.
I don't even want to think about it. Don't even. That's nightmare fuel.
I'm lucky I live abroad. It will be very, very funny. It's been fun for us in the UK. We've got such a shit show right now that looking at you guys has been fucking great. But if you have 4 years of Biden being crippled by a Senate, these ridiculous ideas about equity and stuff that's been put out there are unachievable.
Right.
Are you going to call Trump 2024?
I think that Trump won't run, but somebody made from the Trump family, something like that. I think you're right. I think you're right about Biden basically not going to be able to get anything done. So I'm fine. To me, it's not that big of a deal if Trump loses because I see another opportunity for the media to be just so blatant and they're, propagandizing for the Biden administration that it's just another way for me. It just gives me more material to go out there and show people. And I guarantee you do polling 4 years from now, trust in the media is going to have plummeted another 20%.
Oh, 100%. And your subscribers will have gone up.
Hopefully.
20%.
Yeah, the seeds have stagnated.
We've had the link all the time. Do go and join. He's if you're of the left persuasion, Drone Tech's very much the voice from the more conservative persuasion that's worth listening to. Because he's reasonable. he's not mental. You can't listen to extreme leftists. You can't listen to extreme hard right people. But it's a conservative voice that me not really being a conservative thinks should be louder. We need balance. If you want to have a rounded opinion, you've got to listen to different people. And I would recommend his channel. Granted, sometimes he has people on that I would describe as a stereotype, but it's good. Listen, pay attention, and then nip over to the Antifa channel and get the other side. I bet you hang out there a lot, don't you, Drone Tech?
Oh yeah, big time. I do troll their Facebook channels though.
Of course you do.
They're near me, maybe.
Well, of course we now have the Democratic Republic of Antifa. That's where Portland is.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about this
I do want to say one thing.
Yeah.
I do want to quickly before we move on from that. If I don't know if I'm saying on, but the one thing to look for over there is you're going to see some people protesting against the way this election's been handled, and the media is just going to just smear them and destroy them. That's going to happen, and that goes to my other rule that the only legitimate protest is one that's pushing their agenda. Anything into opposition to that, not legitimate protest. So that rule 100%. Will, I'm sure, hold steady.
Oh yeah. Well, did you see that? Did you see that woman spitting in the policeman's face?
Oh yeah. Like I made a post. I'm like, is that attempted murder? I mean, just based on their standards.
We were just talking about the same thing. Because normally spitting on someone would just be assault, wouldn't it?
Right. But Twitter posts, they were all going after the cop. Oh, so that cop, find out who he is. Get his name spread out there.
He should have tased her. I'm sorry. If someone's spitting in your face, the least you deserve is a tasing. And then a mild introduction to the baton. Just some corrective education. Because here in the UK, dude, our police educate the shit out of the anti-lockdown people. Ooh,
yeah, I've seen that.
But they don't educate the people outside the French embassy complaining. They don't educate BLM, obviously. The Extinction Rebellion gluing themselves to shit. We don't educate them too hard. But if you go outside in this country and say you don't want to wear a mask, they'll educate the shit out of you.
Oh, yeah. I saw did you see the Rebel Media video where Ari or Ashy, I can't remember what his name is, did a comparison of how the anti-mask protest went, or the anti-lockdown, compared to how the police were kneeling for the BLM protests there. and then they were spraying down with pepper spray these people just not wearing masks.
Oh yeah, it was just like that. I mean, the one today, there's a million mask march down in London. Thousands of people anti-lockdown because, as you know, we've just entered another national lockdown here in the UK.
Right.
On Bonfire Night, strangely enough. And there's a video out there. The police have kettled them, so there's nowhere for them to go, and they're trapped with police screaming at them to go home. And they're like, we can't. And I think the police, what they're going to wait for is for people to get annoyed, and then the education batons come out.
Yeah,
because they're
it's disturbing. Yeah, it's disturbing how they seem to like really be into it, and it's like, man, how could you? But you've seen these experiments with, authority figures, and when they're dealing with people that they see as below them, they do mistreat them. It's kind of a psychological thing that happens. But I will say that we are watching this in America, what's happening over there, and I don't think it's very funny or entertaining. It's disturbing me that it's happening there.
It's very disturbing what's going on, and it's probably going to wind up spreading. Well, you've already got trouble on the streets as it is, but without that.
Yeah.
So I don't see it getting very much better anytime soon. I really don't.
No. Seems we're headed the other direction somehow.
Yeah, we're getting worse.
It's like we started to gain a foothold, and they just smacked it down.
Yeah. Well, there might be something. I'm sure some people watching right now will have many opinions on why that might be. And I know we might, but we'd probably only speak about them in private.
Yeah.
But yeah, the world's a changed place. Dude, we're going to move on. But listen, thank you so much for making the time for us. And I know we always say it, but I'd like you to come on a little more often. So we can see more of you and get more of your input and more of your voice. Because, I'm going to try and get Aphid Lip on as well to get the flip side.
We should. That'd be good. I'd like to be on with him.
Or cry. I think he's just got.
Well, thank you for having me on, Hayden. I appreciate it.
No, dude, every time it's a pleasure, mate. A pleasure. Thanks very much for coming to see us. Everybody go and subscribe immediately. And he's at Drone Tech on the Twitter. Dude, catch you soon. Take care. There we go. That was the mighty Drone Tech joining me there. I love it when he comes on. I really like having him on. He's such a cool guy.
He's a really good lad, isn't he? He's awesome. I've got a lot of time for him, and I do. I enjoy. You're right, what you said as well. If you want to get different views from different people,
balanced voice.
Yeah, he's definitely the person to go for the non-mental. And a really good thing that he started doing, but which has been sort of curbed a little bit with lockdown now, is getting his ass out on the streets. So if there is a protest going,
he was out there, wasn't he?
That was my favourite stuff of his, and I loved his experimentations with building a remote mic. Yeah. I remember at one point he had a lapel mic on a wooden spoon. And he's like, this isn't working, this is it. It's just like, oh, mate, just do a GoFundMe or something, please. Buy a mic. He's out there
doing it,
Yeah, no, but, that's what I like. I love that. Going out, right, that didn't work. We'll try it this way. Nothing but respect for that. It's the kind of actual journalism that we desperately need.
Well, that's citizen journalism. That's something I always wanted to see more of. And he's out there doing it, doesn't. Because it's never mattered whether he was left-leaning or right-leaning. He's a reasonable and intelligent human being. So you should listen if he's got something to tell you. You don't have to agree. It doesn't have to be your cup of tea, but you should listen, because everything we take in forms our opinion, especially the ones that think, nothing sways me, I'm very strong. It's bullshit. Everything affects us that we take in. So, it's sometimes a nice change to hear something that isn't media control, but still reasonable and well put together. So there we go. We've kissed his ass plenty now. That's fine. That's definitely a thank you for coming out.
I tell you what, right? This is the best example of it right now. If you're on Twitter or you're on the media, all you're hearing from Trump right now is stop the count.
Yeah.
Whereas what he actually said was stop the count so we can get independent people in there to verify.
But it doesn't help that on Twitter.
Yeah.
Trump did in caps.
Oh yeah, he wrote it. Yeah.
Stop the count.
Stop the count. But that's the thing, though. At the moment, there's no journalists that are saying that. No. Yeah, they'll sneak in and say, oh yeah. Well, he's won the case now to have independent, to have people come in and verify the rest of the count. And if you're watching Sky News, if you're watching mainstream stuff, they're framing it in such a way that he's trying to just stop it now. So there's people just going, well, actually, Trump.
It's always been the same with Trump. It's like the
Yeah.
very fine people quote.
Yeah, the very fine people one. It's the same sentence.
Yeah.
They just cut the
They
beginning
just take
off.
the top and tail it every time.
It's insane, man. And it's not going to stop when he's gone. I tell you that right now. It's not going to stop.
Drone Tech, yeah, cheers, dude. We got an awesome community, and we'll definitely have to do more streams, mate, on each other's stuff. We got to keep the conversation going. Because I was talking to Sean Lawson, the news junkie from down in Florida, and it was a couple of days ago, and I was saying to him, we need to get you back on, so we're going to sort that out, because I really love talking to Sean as well. And I said, what's going to happen with this election? And this was a couple of days before, and he said, I predict very narrow victory for Biden. And then trouble. Legal action. Oh, I fucking called it. He called it. I'm sure many others, but he nailed it. But hopefully we're getting Sean on before too long, because I do love having him on the show as well. Let's have a look. Mr. C says, I like the look of this Harris lady. I reckon she and Corbyn would have been a force in world politics. Rational Wrong Think, yeah. You can wind it back in real time or watch it later. It'll be straight back up on the channel. How are we looking there? Arizona's definitely been called blue, hasn't it?
Well, actually, I've got Fox News up right now, and they're the ones that have called it. They basically, Fox called it when it was a reporting error. But as you can, they thought it was 95% in.
It's only 88%.
Yes. So what's happened is it's gone back. Every other outlet has brought it back basically, but Fox.
What's he about 67,000 behind? Something like that.
Yeah, and it's actually closing in Trump's favour at the moment, which is very, very exciting.
It's a big jump
but,
to make
But
up,
Fox and AP are refusing to uncall it. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. They don't get to call it.
No.
I've just brought Fox up because it's really good for you to see things if you want to go at it, really. Apart from that one thing. But you've
just go at one state, cross two states.
Which one, sorry?
The other way to the right. Cross one more state, up one.
Oh,
Oh, it's
Nebraska.
Nebraska. It's stripy.
Yeah. I think, isn't that because they split the votes?
It's very stripy. I like that. Let's have a look. Who else we got in? Blind Fury's in. How you doing? Fat Belly's still around. That's good. I thought he was asking where he was. Alan Reader, hello, sir. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. You guys having a good chat about this in there. That's fantastic. Yeah, I don't want to go too much in the elections because it sounds like you're campaigning for one side or the other. We'll obviously do an autopsy at some point next week, I imagine. While it's still wriggling, we will autopsy the
It's
election.
funny that it really genuinely could go either way right now, and but the mood is just like, yeah, go and fuck off, Trump. You're done, mate. You're done. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If Trump takes it now, that screaming lady that we've got in the intro is going to be nothing compared to the memes. Then, is it? That's kind of what I want, to be honest.
I'm going to be honest, so do I.
I don't want boring Sleepy Joe for the rest of the thing, man.
No, I want the action and the
awful.
adventure. And of course, Cup of Tea rightly points out, hello, Cup of Tea, rightly points out that Jeremy Corbyn's been suspended for his anti-Semitism. And quite right too.
By a legitimate report, the law was broken 3 different major ways, wasn't it?
See, you know what he could have done, Jeremy Corbyn? He could have said, do you know what, I dropped the ball there, I could have handled that better, but I will learn lessons and go on. Instead, nope, it's bullshit, fuck him.
You know what frustrates me though, man, and I remember talking to you about this like 3 years ago, because I spoke to people who work at Labour Party. People who didn't like Jeremy Corbyn were holding on to those anti-Semitism complaints, and they were letting them stack up to hurt Jeremy. And now all that's coming out, and they're saying, oh, well, it was people that just wanted to hurt him. And it's like, that's no defence. That's you saying that people other than Jeremy Corbyn in the Labour Party are happy to just sit on those complaints.
I've been told by someone that knew him, not friendly, but worked around him. And this is heresy. This is hearsay, not heresy. But to some people, this will be heresy.
Yeah, speaking against
But it's
the
definitely
government.
hearsay. But apparently, he really just fucking hates Jews and classes everyone in Israel as the same as their government. And he spells Jews a little differently to other people as well. 2 Ks in it.
Do you know, I follow a lot of socialist channels and Labour and all the rest of it on YouTube, and it's funny because when people go through my YouTube subs and they'll point at people like Drone Tech and go, "Oh, look who you watch," and it's like, "Oh, you just ignore the Socialist Worker though, don't you?" Socialist Worker though, UK, the first emergency meeting they had via Zoom that was broadcast was Jeremy Corbyn is gone. What does this mean for Palestine? That was literally like, that was the first thing they could think was, well, what does this mean for Palestine? It's like, why don't you ask the question, what does this mean for, poor working class people in the UK? the ones that I mean, fair enough, man. If you want to fly the flag for Palestine, do it. But for that to be your first fucking thing on the agenda, that's why they failed.
Momentum and the unions and the socialist worker folks, they fucked Labour. Because any Labour government that was even slightly centrist would have walked those elections. Would have even dull Keir Starmer, Keith.
He's doing well. He's doing all right.
He's incredibly dull, but during those 2 elections previously, could have smashed it.
I agree with you there.
Anyone, if it was just that bit more centrist,
Sorry,
it went too far left.
To clarify, when I say he's doing well, that doesn't necessarily mean I mean politically he's doing well. His polls. I'm not necessarily
he used to be
standing
the DPP. He knows his shit.
Yeah, they're doing. I was talking about this on Tuesday. They're doing exactly what Labour did in the 90s, and Keir they've let the extremists get a certain kind of loudness and a certain amount of confidence, and it's exactly what Blair did in the 90s. Yeah. They're cutting them all out, fucking even Corbyn is going, it's exactly what happened there, and then Labour landslide won, and I think that's what they're doing.
Need to be centre left.
Of course they do.
They can't exit. British politics has never worked when it's been hard left or hard. We've never really had anyone hard right, have we? But they've always got to be centre right or centre left. It's the only thing that works in British politics. Nothing else flies very well.
We are very left leaning anyway. I mean, even what we call right wing and conservatives and stuff, it's all very. I mean, if you look at it on a sort of global average in terms of where people fall, it's all on the left.
Yeah, our whole spectrum is really quite narrow.
Yeah, I mean, we've got our sort of like, the conservative, our right wingers could never say we're going to get rid of the NHS. They'd never get in on the back of that. You got to think in terms of that. Isn't it like the 5th biggest employer on the planet or something ridiculous like that? For a right wing thing to be like, yes, we need this huge government run thing where everyone's like, that's insane in most other countries. So yeah, I mean, you're right. But even then, even within that context, you can't go too crazy.
No, you got to stay centre left or centre right.
Because people still remember the 70s, they remember the bins, and they remember all that shit.
My dad, lifelong Labour voter, he voted for Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, really?
Now, I ask him now, he can't fucking remember that now. That was long gone. But when I spoke to him when I was younger, I said, but you never voted for her, and she was terrible. He went, yeah, but we're on 3-day weeks. There was shit everywhere, rubbish everywhere, piling up garbage. And the nation was miserable.
Yeah, people forget that. They forget how she got in.
So, I mean, that's what sowed essentially, Labour sowed the seeds for all the shit that Thatcher left behind for us as well after that first boom and then the bust that's lasted forever.
Dude,
so.
if Labour don't win the next election here, I am going to be like, if they manage to throw away this with all these lockdowns and stuff, I mean, Jesus Christ, how many people are going to die? How many people are going to die in care homes before?
There's a big problem though.
Go on.
Labour support everything that they're doing in terms of lockdown. They want more lockdown.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
They want more than the Conservatives. They want everything gone, everything. Now, if coronavirus hadn't happened when we spoke about this, I was sure we'd end up with another 4 years of Tories.
Oh, yeah.
No problem.
No way they were getting in before coronavirus, yeah.
But
same way that Trump was going to landslide it before coronavirus.
We would no, Trump's going to win, as simple as that. Before we get too deep into lockdown, which I do want to talk about, there's something else I want to talk about, which was brought to my attention by Sir Richard of Allen. I don't know if many of you guys are familiar with a chap called Ken O'Keefe, another very pro-Palestinian guy. Apparently the Palestinians don't like him very much anymore, but a real truth warrior. He was on that flotilla to Gaza and, according to him, fought off the Israeli commandos. According to other people, the commandos just sat him on his arse, and he was very quiet until he was allowed to go home. You'll believe who you like. When I went down to meet Richie for the first time at the People's Voice, and I met David Icke and the producer down there, who I think was one of the bigger problems, they said, would you like to have a show? And I said, no, I can't say yes. I mean, it's very nice of you to offer. A, not really fun. B, you've got this guy on your platform. I'm not suggesting you shouldn't have Ken O'Keefe on your platform. I just don't want to be associated with him. So, no thanks. Best of luck. Ken O'Keefe came up with a scheme not all that long ago. He had a plan. One World Citizen plan. He needed your money because he had something that was going to free us all from those terrible Jew bankers. Ken O'Keefe was going to abolish income tax. He just needed your money to do it. He raised over $100,000. Now, you must think to yourself, wow, $100,000, he must have been serious for people to give him this money. Now, before he was given the $100,000, no, don't put that one up, dude. Before he was before he was given the $100,000, he was kind of tattooed, lean, sort of like, I think he was in the army, probably peeled a lot of potatoes, but he was a fit, healthy guy, very sharp, very, on it, very anti-Semitic, painfully, horribly so. But he was on it. He was on his game. Then he got $100,000, went around the world, had a young lady on his side for a bit, got arrested in a few places. Your investment, he didn't want to waste it on getting rid of income tax. This is what your $100,000 bought. He posted a dancing video from his motel room that allegedly being paid for by charities after he was kicked off an Indian reservation for being Ken O'Keefe. A dancing video. If I ever envisioned in my mind a man that was going to come up with a way of abolishing income tax, that's exactly what I think of. Someone that looks a little bit cracky, dancing in a fucking motel room with his bed covered in shit. That's the man. Keep people aware. Stop giving this fucking con man money. He's full of shit. He's a lying, dreadful, bigoted, anti-Semitic fucking con man with pyramid schemes and all manner of bullshit. Con O'Keefe is never to be trusted. I know that in alternative media circles, there are a lot of people who are vulnerable to this sort of thing. Not because they're stupid, but because they're incredibly emotionally invested in some of these theories and some of what's going on and how they perceive things. And they will part with the money, believing that he's going to make a difference. The only difference it made was that Ken got to have a party on his own in his hotel room. Look at the fucking state of it. Jesus Christ. What a dreadful, dreadful arsehole. Ken O'Keefe, ladies and gentlemen. Single-handedly saving the Palestinians. What a rotten fucking bellend he is. Never liked the man. From back in the day, I saw a couple of talks that he gave, and I thought, he's one step away from saying, say what you like about Hitler. But and it was just, what a terrible. And yeah, like Sutty's Rehab rightly said, be careful of people with teardrop tattoos on their faces. Maybe give them a job. Don't trust them with shit. Especially when they put videos out dancing in their motel rooms. Fucking hell. He's one step away from being a fucking glue sniffer on the street, isn't he? Oh, apparently he's paid for by charities, his motel rooms. Right, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that one. I thought you might. As soon as Richie showed me it, I was like, this has got to go on. There's no way I can't show Ken O'Keefe having a dance. We might close the show with it as well. It's nice. He's happy. naturally just high on life and crack. Or maybe he'll sue me now. Or threaten me with a fight. It's like, okay, dude, yeah. See you in Manchester. We'll meet in Aldi's car park, yeah.
He's more likely to get a fight out of us than any actual money. I mean, what's he gonna do?
It'd be easier.
Here you go.
I know. I think Richie Allen told him once when Ken got a bit on top with him. He said, "Oh, I'll meet you up. I'll meet you. Come on then." I wish that would have happened. I was trying to get Richie to do the Pikey call-out videos and all of that. That would have been superb. Maybe it'll still happen.
Aidan, Happy Dog's got one there for you. You must have seen this video.
Oh, well, you know, I've heard some things about it. Basically, a video came out showing that a 70-year-old nurse was arrested for taking her 92-year-old mother out of a care home without the care home's permission, because, as you know, old people are the property of somebody. They're not at all individuals. The police swooped in and arrested the mother, the daughter of the senior lady, put her in the back of the police car whilst her daughter filmed the whole thing. They then took the old lady back to the care home. Now, on Twitter, someone's been going on to me about, you know, denial of liberty orders, and she assaulted a care worker's staff by pushing past her. I don't know that that's assault. But here's the thing. We're being coldly logical here. These people have not been allowed to see their mother properly for 9 months. 9 months they've not been able to embrace their mother and grandmother. She's deteriorating. She's getting worse. What would you do? Well, use the proper channels. And 6 months later, she could be dead, and you're still no closer to seeing her. I get it. They want the mum at home. Now, wouldn't anyone reasonable have got the social services maybe involved, had a chat, let them get home, have a cup of tea, talk about it? No. Please swoop in, arrest everyone, and drag the old dear back to the care home. Because we're property. We are property now. We are all on our fucking knees. Here in the UK, we've gone into a full national lockdown, except not quite the same as the last one, because the main areas of alleged infection, and I say alleged because the PCR test is shit. I don't deny COVID-19's a thing. I do not. I have real problems with the data that we get. And a test that's not fit for fucking purpose. The fact that on the news they say died with COVID. Never of. Anyway, we've gone into a full national lockdown. They're putting in new amendments to existing laws to enforce their lockdowns now. Whereas there was wriggle room before by saying, well, I don't agree, and you didn't get a fine from the police. The police can't fine you. They can give you a fixed penalty notice. The courts can fine you. The courts didn't actually really fine anybody. That will now change. We're told where we can eat, where we can sleep, who we can see, what we can talk to, who can come in our own fucking homes. We're being totally ruled. And the best move by the government is the fact that people are invested in this now. So if you question it at all, you're basically David Icke, who is banned now on all major platforms. We are on our fucking knees, begging to be punished more. Here in the UK, the government gave out templates for employers of people in key services, so that if they are stopped by the police, they can produce their papers. The fuck was that? The police can stop you and tell you to produce your papers, that you are allowed to be anywhere. Dentists are remaining open, that's quite nice.
Thank fuck.
Yes. Schools, universities, gyms are shut. Everything fun, shut. Takeaways still acceptable. Unless you're in Wales, in which case, everything fun. Wales has turned into East Germany. If it's not compulsory, you can't have it. That's how it works there. And we're just eating this shit up. We're letting them do this and supporting it. As we mentioned when Drone Tech was on, when we had the Black Lives Matter protest, the police took the fucking knee. When it's Extinction Rebellion, it's all move along, move along. The minute someone gets there going, I'm not sure about all this lockdown shit, fuck you, get home, £10,000 fine. And people are going, very good. Very good. Because we're fucking slaves, we're cattle. We're just cattle that belong to other people. And you say to them, but what about all the people dying from cancer because they're not getting the treatment? Well, it's because of COVID overflowing the beds. It's not, as Graham pointed out earlier. The COVID beds are full. That's because there's 5 of them. All the other ICU beds are empty. What they will do is make another COVID bed. But then we'll run out of ICU beds. Not anytime soon. Less people are dying from it. More cases are arising because we're doing huge amounts of testing with a flawed test. Again, I'm not saying it isn't real. I am saying we've handled this incredibly badly with a government apparently fulfilling the wishes of people. Lock us down. Lock us in our homes. But give me my furlough. Oh, and make those working class people carry on working so I can order my stuff from Ocado, please. I can't possibly live without mung beans. And again, we're in the same situation where it's not a national lockdown. It's middle class people hiding at home while working class people make sure they're fed and watered. That's all it is. And they'll come out of this lockdown. The numbers will rise again. They will blame the poor and common people and then demand another lockdown. See, this lockdown's supposed to last 4 weeks, which is December the 2nd. 4 weeks. The Chancellor of the Exchequer announced this evening that furlough will be carried on until March. Now, furlough is, of course, where the government pay 80% of your wages. Why March? So one commentator said, well, it's going to take a while for business to get back. Yeah, but if there's no lockdown, there's no furlough. Can't have furlough if there's no lockdown, right? I mean, each week of lockdown in the UK costs us £14 billion. Lives destroyed, lives lost, mental health issues, people not getting treated for cancers, for strokes, for heart attacks. Never mind just not getting the treatments that they need, the tests that they need because we've gone crazy for this fucking COVID. So then they say, well, what's the answer? Well, if I had the answer, I wouldn't be sat doing this, would I? I'd probably actually, I'd be called a crackpot by the national newspapers. But I'm pretty sure the answer isn't what we're doing. Maybe we have to just protect the vulnerable. Maybe that's just all we have to do. And crack on. Let people live. Not just let people work. Let them socialise. Let them drink and eat. Because most people are asymptomatic. And yes, some people will die. COVID will kill some young people. But so will aspirin. So will a bus. So will lightning. So will the cork from a champagne bottle. We accept that there is risk in life. Human beings, this is not new to us. Viruses, diseases, all kinds of shit happens. You can't hide from it. So now in Liverpool, they're going to test everyone in Liverpool and possibly use the troops to help out. Can't wait to see the troops on the street.
What you just said is what got David Icke banned from Twitter.
Yeah,
exactly what you just said.
But it's true.
The
they're
BBC
using
said
them
it
to
as
help
well.
distribute the vaccine. Yeah. I think he might have given a different idea. But it is true that they're looking at the logistics of it, which they'll use the troops because it's a massive operation. But they're still using a flawed test. So they'll test everyone in Liverpool and go, fucking hell, look at the numbers! It's crawling with coronavirus. And even if we come out of this lockdown, I can guarantee Manchester will remain in Tier 3, which is pretty much the same as lockdown. We're not doing anything, and now they've given us a crumb of hope. I think it's Oxford. I've said that the vaccine could be ready just before Christmas. But we're only going to give it to the old and vulnerable first. You know, the people we can afford to see killed by a vaccine. I don't know. I don't know, guys, but whatever it is we're doing it fucking wrong. You're supposed to die on your feet, not your fucking knees. Even if they made it a choice, you know? Even if they just made it a choice. All right, stay at home and furlough. Or crack on. I'd crack on. I've spoke to my parents. They know that we can't go down there at the minute. I can leave stuff at the door that's been wiped down. That's cool. They can see my son through the fucking window, which is heartbreaking because my son adores his grandparents. I remember the first week we were allowed back. Graham, we went in and we stayed about an hour and a half. There's not a lot for him to do there. He just sat with his grandma and grandpa.
He's touching base, though, isn't it? There's that
Well,
feeling.
I said it's time to go. He said, can we stay? Just a bit longer. I was like, yeah, of course. Another hour. Not doing anything, just staying with his grandparents, giving them a hug. And it's a damn shame. And this is repeated all up and down the land. There are people dying right now because of a lockdown. Right now. We don't have the figures for those. The inquests may not happen for years, if at all. I know they're being looked at, but I don't know if it'll happen. So what about all those people that are dying right now, not from COVID? Apparently, fuck them. Fuck them. Angela Rayner, who I spoke about a couple of weeks ago on the show, she was complaining about not caring for people dying. I didn't even respond.
Yeah,
What's
no.
the point? What's the point? Just going to unplug these headphones. I can hear through them.
It's funny as well. Do you remember that report you sent me yesterday? The legit government on the Parliament website, where they were looking at the pesky issue of human rights in terms of mandatory vaccinations. And I know I've seen it. I've seen it in Australia and the various places that have been talking about mandatory vaccinations, but we didn't have it here. But it turns out that yes, what they will do is they will section you under the Mental Health Act of 1983 and then be able to just give it to you by force, apparently.
From that paper, if you read through most of it, I'm sure you did, the main thrust is mandatory vaccination may not in and of itself be a human rights abuse, but only if you combine it with incarceration does it become a human rights abuse. So the clever answer from these people, and this is on, by the way, we'll dig it out and put the link in.
Yeah, it's a legit Parliament.uk
this is
thing.
on Parliament. It was passed to me by John. Is it John Stone? He's away in the chat somewhere. He said, "Is this real?" And it's like, "Yeah. This is real." And we read it. So, if it's mandatory and they incarcerate you, it's an abuse of your human rights. But it's got to be mandatory. But they're going to make it a choice, and the choice is you have it, or you won't be allowed to do anything. That's not an abuse of your human rights because it's a choice, Graham. You might not be allowed in shops, venues, travel, but that's okay because it was your choice. That was a creepy paper, that one.
Yeah, we've got John in caps there in the thing saying that they're illegal, check out international law. But that's what the government are doing right now.
That's why they're doing it, John.
Nothing's against the law. You just have to twist it which way you want.
Well, look how they
you?
work that. This is not mandatory. You don't have to have it. I mean, you can't go on a plane or a bus or a train or in certain places, but you don't have to have it.
You see, I want the vaccine, but if it was to be brought in like that, that would put me in mind of refusing it. Yeah. That would put me in mind of like, no. I'm going to be one of the people.
We said that when lockdown first started, like the social distancing. I'm quite happy not sitting next to people. I'm quite happy being distanced from people. I'm quite happy being at home.
Yeah.
But the minute they tell me I've got to, I wanted to run out into the streets hugging strangers.
I'd just love to be able to take my daughter, who's already had fucking coronavirus at this point, and consensually spend time with other people who also consent to the same thing. It'd be fucking amazing. Because after, 8 months now we're coming up to, she doesn't give a fuck about. I give her a new video game. She doesn't give a fuck. She doesn't want to sit there on Switch.
Hates the coronavirus.
She's done with it.
He complains about it, but yeah, it's we're going down a very, very dark path in the West, and none of you watching this in whatever country you're in, you won't be safe. People say the US will never go that route. Poland would never go that route.
You know what, man? Trump ain't right, and he's not great with the way he's handled coronavirus. There's been plenty of mistakes.
I think he's their only hope of not going down this route.
But yeah, if Biden gets in, fuck off. You're
if
done,
Biden
mate.
gets
You're
in,
done.
you fuckers are in the camps.
I almost want Biden to get in just so that they'll know, just so that they'll find out the shit, because he's all about lockdowns, man.
Oh yeah.
And,
You'll be locked down. It'll cost America $200 billion a week, something like that, to be locked down.
And that Paris. The Paris Agreement for climate change.
Or you'll be signing straight up for that,
just
which directly punishes the American people.
Yeah. Just watch all your jobs go to China. Jesus Christ, you're gonna get fucked in the ass. No more steel in America. The oil, goodbye, all of that shit, man.
Yeah. It's bad news coming.
So I almost want it to happen. Just
But Orange Man bad.
The Orange Man is bad. He's very rude sometimes, isn't he?
He's very rude.
He's very rude.
But it is strange, all these people that will say, I want Biden in, but I'm not doing lockdown. Got news for you, and it's all fucking bad. He loves the idea of lockdown. He thinks it's sexy. He can't spell it at the moment, but he really likes the idea of it. Sleepy Joe. Imagine having to choose between those two fucking people. Oh, I thought we had it bad. Do you want Donald Trump, or do you want this poor old man that needs to go back to bed? He needs to go back to bed. And now they've got him in all the videos, haven't they? Jogging. Running to the podium. It looks like they've just shoved this poor old man. Run, you bastard! Oh, it breaks out. It's a shame. Or it would be a shame if he wasn't a 47-year veteran of career politics, which means he's a fucking snake anyway. They all are. All of them. I love the way Trump is a reprehensible man in many, many ways. Gave spawn to dreadful children. But how is he measurably worse than any of the people that lie to you all the time for 47 fucking years, making promises they never really keep? Not in any meaningful way. It's all bullshit, Yeah, I suppose the same as that when people go, Trump will drain the swamp. Why? He's a fucking alligator. Why would he want to drain the swamp? It's all bullshit. All of it's all bollocks. And, a lockdown on bonfire night. In fact, this is the last thing we're going to talk about this evening. Bonfire night. It boils my piss that some people call it Guy Fawkes Day. It's not a holiday, dickhead. Or they go, fireworks night. No, it was bonfire night. When I was growing up, all those years ago when the world was in black and white, you spent like a week or 2 weeks gathering wood with your friends and going for miles around. You built your bonfire, you guarded your bonfire. Then the whole community came together. Every couple of streets would have their own fire. And some of the grown-ups would bring fireworks, some would bring food that they made. They put potatoes in the fire. Big bonfire. It was a community event. It was great. And then the councils banned burning shit because, I don't know, some polar bears didn't like it. So we don't have bonfire night anymore. And then that film, V for Vendetta, came out and everyone decided Guy Fawkes was a fucking hero for the common man. And now everyone associates him with somehow the fight for freedom because he was going to blow up Parliament. He was, for the Pope. They wanted to put Catholic rule back in Britain. He wasn't a freedom fighter. He was a jihadist. To all intents and purposes. That's what he was. He was a jihadist. And so, as he was a jihadist, we hanged him a bit, pulled his innards out, showed him his bollocks, and then cut him into bits. Because that's how we did business in Britain in the old days, or England, I should say, in the old days. Even base traditions, the celebration of a man's murder, which we enjoyed very much every year, is ruined now. Ruined. Yeah, when I see those guys from QAnon or whatever the fuck it is, or Anonymous, wearing the Guy Fawkes mask, what does it signify? It's you're a papist. I don't know. Bring back bonfire night. Let our kids burn shit. Let them get horrific injuries that see them hospitalised because it's character building. Let them learn about checking the bonfire for hedgehogs. Let them do that shit. Let them live a fucking life. Lift the lockdown, burn some pallets, have the time of your fucking life. Guys, thank you very much for watching. We're out of time. Oh,
I thought Drone Tech's just been staring intently at you, but I think it just froze when he closed his camera. Yeah, just like
maybe he's just been stood very still.
He's really, really into it.
Put the shot up. Show everyone into it. Look how into it he is.
He's completely
He's
entranced.
concentrating.
This is such good shit that he's all over it. Look at him.
He's learning. He's learning. Sidewalk closed. Hello, mate. How you doing? Hope you're well. Some new names. Oh, sorry if I didn't give everyone a shout out. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll be back next week where we'll probably have another look at the election because I'm sure it will have moved on tremendously and everyone will be really calm and content.
0 updates, by the way, whilst we've been on air.
Yeah, fuck off.
They've not counted one. I don't know
There's
what the
one
fuck
guy
they're doing.
reading a ballot paper in Nevada. But Trump, but he's winding the other people up. Is it this box?
Oh, you tease! Idiots, just fucking count him.
We'll be back next week. I don't know if Smoke Steve's having a pub this Saturday because he did a broadcast on Tuesday. But check out the socials. Could be that Smoke Steve's doing a pub this weekend for you guys. Everyone can join in, have your say, get your drink on, have some fun. We'll be back next Thursday, like I say, taking a look at what's happened between now and then in the world, and we'll get a rant on about something. I've been far too calm and reasonable tonight. It's not healthy. It's not that. I'm not getting the release, Graham. Not getting the release.
Steve's just told you off for not plugging the pub. But after
Just plugged it, dickhead.
But you're on about...
Pay attention. Pay attention. This is why you're not on the big bucks. The fuck do you want from me?
Fuck's sake.
I said Saturday, check the socials. I don't know if Steve's doing one because he did one on Tuesday, but check it out and don't miss it. I told them that. Pay attention, bitch. Don't just come on fucking moaning at me just because you've got a ginger beard. I've already told you. Doesn't make you special. $11 o'clock UK time on Saturday night on this very channel. Smoke Steve's hosting the International Pub where you can see just how ginger he is. Fucking Daywalker giving me shit there. Fucking hell. There we go. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week. Pub on Saturday. Have a great time. Stay safe. And if you're in the UK, stay well and get through this as best you can, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.